There are many people who will criticise older men who are in an age gap relationship with a Filipina as they do with a Filipina also in such a relationship. I'm sure we've all heard the criticism around scamming, stereotypes and dirty old men, but what is the real truth behind many age gap relationships between a foreign man and a Filipina? In this video, I'm going to tell you what I've learnt over the past few years from speaking to many such people involved in these relationships. And myself, I've been in a 20-year age gap relationship with a Filipina. So to find out the real motive behind foreigner Filipina age gap relationships, be sure to buckle up and stay with me here. Just quickly, if you're looking to date a Filipina and don't know where to start, then why not check out my affiliate link in the pinned comment and description to the Philippines' #1 dating site, where it's free to create an account and view tens of thousands of beautiful Filipina profiles right now. Now, of course, what I tell you here is my own views and opinions based on, as I say, my own experiences, and from speaking to many people in such relationships over the years. I'm always happy for people to put their varying viewpoints up if it's done in a respectful manner. But you can be sure no bullying, swearing or name calling will be tolerated in any way on this channel. We've all heard the stereotypical comments that some seem to believe, and they put all Filipinas and older men in a relationship with a Filipina into this category. Now yes, there are some Filipinas who are only chasing the gold of an older man, so she may inherit all his worth when he dies, or at least gain a much better lifestyle. And yes, there are some older foreign guys out there who in their final years only want a much younger and beautiful Filipina on his arm, which some may call a trophy wife. And for sure, I have no doubt that this does happen from time to time, not just in the Philippines, but many countries worldwide. But it really does seem to me that such relationships with a Filipina really get highlighted much more as non-genuine relationships than similar age gap relationships from other countries. I look at my own experience around having a long-term relationship with a woman from my own country who was 19 years my junior. Not once did anyone bat an eyelid about the age gap in our relationship, and certainly I never got those looks or whispers when we were out in public together. Fast forward to my relationship over the past 8 years with my Filipina wife, where, as I say, we have almost a 20-year age gap. I can assure you that not a day goes by where, when we're in public, I don't notice those stares and whispers from others. And I even reflect on some of my adult children who never questioned my relationship with the Australian woman, but questioned my Filipina's intentions, even though the age gap between the two were very similar. Here is the truth as I see it around the real motive behind the vast majority of foreigner and Filipina age gap relationships, and I can assure you it has nothing to do with her trying to get your money or the foreign guy wanting a trophy wife, which I must admit my own views over the years have changed somewhat. I'll start with the vast majority of decent foreign guys who are in age gap relationships with a Filipina. Many of these guys have had failed relationships in their own country, and they may have lost all faith in the ways of those women. Now, perhaps it's these women, or perhaps it's the man that is now out of touch with how these women are. Who knows? And some foreign guys may have been married for many years and his wife has passed away, leaving him unsure on how to find a woman in his own country, as things are so different nowadays. And so the man knows that a woman in his country will no longer be on his radar, and so he looks overseas. From his research or word of mouth, he understands how possible it is to find a woman in the Philippines who has the old-fashioned values that he's seen disappear where he lives, and a woman who doesn't mind a large age gap. He sees the Filipina as a woman who is very loyal and will look after him very well in every way, and a woman who may really care for him very well as he gets older. And of course, he'll have a companion throughout his final years. After all, none of us want to be lonely as we get older, and maybe just this is his last shot at a real loving and meaningful relationship. As for the younger Filipina, many fail to truly understand what it is that brings her to be with a man 30 years or more her senior. And because they can't wrap their head around it, they say it must be solely based on money, and she must be a gold digger. As I said earlier, for some this may be the case, but certainly not for the vast majority. If one speaks to many Filipinas in age gap relationships, you slowly start to get a common theme, and you can see just how genuine these women are in what they're saying and what their intentions are. No one knows what sort of life or experiences in her life she may have had unless you have a long conversation with her. Many Filipinas I've spoken to are sick and tired of men in her country who are not serious about her or the relationship. And in fact, they've told me that soon after having a baby that the man either commenced an affair with another woman or left her altogether to bring up the child on her own. And so from these negative experiences, these women start searching for a man somewhere in the world who will take her and the relationship seriously. And they understand that many older foreign guys are much more settled in life and know that they can be a good option for a secure relationship for the long term. She'll appreciate him as her husband and what he brings to her, which, yes, may be a more stable, secure and comfortable lifestyle which many don't have in the Philippines. But also for many, a loving future and family together where they can find happiness, which is very important to many of the Filipinas that I've spoken to. As I've said in many of my videos, Filipinas have an ability to search beyond skin deep and to know what qualities in a man that it takes to have a great relationship with. Now, people may sit back and say what I say here is not right, and that's their choice. But what I say to these people is, what exactly are you basing your views on? Perhaps a failed relationship with a Filipina? Or the views and experiences you've heard from a few disgruntled people? Or from the many stereotypical comments that are commonly thrown around? What I bring you here is not just my view formulated from my experience with my wife, but also speaking to hundreds of men and Filipinas where I certainly get many common themes. So forget the stereotypes many people spout about a dirty old man or a gold-digging Filipina, because the reality is, whether you choose to see it or not, that the vast majority of these couples are in it for the right reasons, with the most common motive of finding happiness and creating an awesome life together. Sure, it may not be the sort of relationship for you, but for many of these couples, it does work well. For more valuable free information and tips around age gap relationships, be sure to check out my comprehensive playlist on screen now. And be very sure to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.